Good morning. Buenos dias. Ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome to the Breakfast Podcast. You're here with Shota Austin,
Tim Bailey.
otherwise known as Titty. All right. Welcome to our podcast. This is our first introductory podcast, The Origin. We're going to be releasing 5 podcasts with 5 different guests after this. And we're going to be talking about breakfast, what people like to eat for breakfast, do for breakfast, just breakfast stuff that's going on. So today we're going to introduce ourselves and talk about what we like to do for breakfast. And then we'll also be talking to Pat Brewer, Shelby Hoagland, Marco Martin, and Stephanie. I can't remember. She's my roommate. I can't pronounce her last name. Brugnick. Sorry, Stephanie. But anyhow, we're gonna be doing all of those folks after this one. But we figured we should just introduce ourselves and try this out. This is our very first podcast and the very first time that I've ever record a podcast. Anything you want to say, Tim? You've been pretty quiet already.
Yeah, I think we might have some guest appearances after those. Maybe we'll do some guests by request.
Yeah.
People that I don't know. So this is the whole point: is I don't actually eat breakfast that often, but I love breakfast food. And as Shota will mention in a little bit, I'm a vegan for love.
You already killed it. I mean, that's what we're gonna come up to. But all right, just go ahead and get it out there. Let's just air our dirty laundry.
I like to pop the shirt off before I pop the pants off, bro.
All right, if you say so. Well, that's true. Tim is not a big breakfast eater. To be totally honest with you viewers and listeners, it is currently July 18th or something of the sort,
19th.
And it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And Tim has literally just had his first cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because this is his morning.
Yeah.
So what did you have for breakfast / what would normally be an afternoon snack today?
So normally I get up around 1 o'clock. I have a little bit of watermelon. I live in hot Arizona, so a little bit of hydration is the best way to get the system kick-fired.
That's actually not a bad idea. There's a lot to that, just having watermelon, because like the first thing you're supposed to do when you wake up is drink a bunch of water. But you've taken a whole new level, adding a little bit of electrolyte to the mix with some watermelon.
Think about it this way. A normal person might only sleep 7-8 hours, but when I'm cracking out 9-10 hour nights, that's a long time without drinking water. Your boy needs to stay hydrated.
You sleep too much.
I don't sleep too much. I sleep as much as my body wants to sleep.
Okay, so this is how my nighttime / morning hydration game goes.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to bed at 9:30, when I go to bed, which is really when my partner goes to bed, I drink a couple glasses of water, right? And then I get up at like 10:30, have a couple more glasses of water. Then I get up at like 1 o'clock because it's hot, because we're in Arizona, and have like 2 more glasses of water.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that ties me over till the AM, when then I wake up and have like a whole bottle of water. No watermelon. Yeah, I normally pee about twice before I actually fall asleep for the long term.
But you don't wake up in the middle of the night pee. That's a lot of water.
No, not normally. Normally I go pee and then I drink more water, and that happens at like 10:30 and like midnight, 1:30. Then I finally sleep for a couple hours until.
Have you ever heard of the raw till 4 diet?
No. What is the raw till 4 diet?
Raw till 4 diet is basically the idea that your stomach doesn't digest things all at the same rate. So if you woke up in the morning and had yourself a ton of bacon sausage, it's going to sit in your stomach for several hours. Whereas if you hit yourself with some watermelon in the morning, that's going to pass through within an hour or two.
Oh, so you're saying raw food till 4 in the afternoon?
Depends what your system is.
The raw 4?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But for me, if I eat watermelon, that's going to pass through real quick. It's basically my morning cup of coffee. It gets the system flowing. I get that.
Well, that is just a beautiful
first morning poo.
Beautiful thing. Okay.
Yeah, you get it cycled.
All right. Well, I want to get us back on track to kind of what is going to be our regular formatting. I know we already got off onto a breakfast with a little hydration, which is important now that it is summertime. But I want to talk about, let's go quick background. So, Tim, tell us a little bit about yourself in less than a minute and a half.
I'm Tim. I'm a PhD student at the U of A. I study physiology. He
always has to bring that up. He's a PhD cadet. He's so sharp, so smart. But go ahead.
But anyway, so that's my trade by profession. This is a bit of a hobby.
You're a student by profession.
Yeah, student by profession. Okay. Forever learner. I'm also a cyclist. Not doing much riding these days, but a lot of my eating routine bases around my lifestyle, which means getting up usually early, getting in some fitness, and then going to work.
Yeah, so you're like in a quarantine slump right now.
Yeah,
with your food and your timing.
Yeah, there's like freshman 15.
Okay.
I'm on like quarantine 15 right now. So
right on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't be the only one. All right. Well, a little bit about myself. I am from Tempe, Arizona. Been here in Tucson. Went to the U of A, and I work for Tanks Green Stuff, where we make organic landscape materials from diverted and recycled landscape waste. That is my trade and profession. I'm a horrible student, unlike Tim, and I go to work every day because I'm an essential employee. So if I have breakfast, it's at a normal hour because I'm on a normal schedule.
You're essential to this world and me, buddy.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's very kind. So favorite breakfast food all time?
So, all right, here's the hard part of me answering this question. There's different levels to me as a person. There's Tim the vegan. There was Tim before I was vegan.
Oh, yes. Tim's vegan for love. Hi, Cecile. So Tim was a vegan when I first met him. And then when we were roommates, I would just feed him meat, poultry, egg, cheese, chicken, beef, whatever.
Butter in the rice.
And then he moved out and was living here at the Scrub Shack where we're currently recording this podcast. And he became non-vegan. Then he met a French girl who's vegan.
Mm-hmm.
And so he became re-vegan, born again vegan for love. And they went to France last summer. Tim didn't have any European cheese. He just went to Europe and had baguettes and tomatoes, apparently.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Farmers markets are amazing. Fresh tomatoes, fresh raspberries, picking blueberries on mountainsides.
A millennial.
Oh, God, man. Got really into bread meat. Right. So anyway, I'm a kind of guy, I love me some hash browns and some bacon and some eggs. That's a good breakfast.
So when's the last time you had hash browns, bacons, and eggs?
Like 5
for
years.
Breakfast?
Like
but that's your favorite, but you haven't had it in 5 years?
That's the level of commitment I have to this relationship.
Wow. That is hard. So when's the ring?
Whoa.
Sorry, never mind. We're gonna go elsewhere on the conversation.
Marriage is not a constitution of modern society. It's about kings and queens keeping wealth in their families, dude.
Okay, thank you, Mikey. Anyways, my favorite breakfast. Well, I have to agree with you. That's a solid breakfast. So I love diner food. So if I'm gonna go out to a diner and have breakfast, my favorite is chicken fried steak. And I like gravy, but I don't love gravy. One of the qualms I have with chicken fried steak at a diner is there's always too much gravy. But I'm also partially New Mexican, so on that chicken fried steak.
You're partially New Mexican?
Yeah.
So we have to open this up about your racial ambiguity here.
Well, people just have to learn. They'll have to follow along and find out as we go.
Okay.
I was debating whether or not to just bring that up here in the Origin Story introductory podcast.
Let them find out.
Because, in this day and age, it's nice to know what people's background are, where they're coming from. Yeah. But I figured it'd be more fun if we just had it, along the way.
You want to be too linear of a story. I got you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So my dad's from New Mexico. I love green chilies. So when I get a chicken fried steak at a diner, it's green chilies. And so there's 2 diners here in Tucson that I love. Shout out to Frank's on Alvernon and Pima. And then my other favorite here is Laverna's Cafe on Plumbers and Campbell. Either way, you can't go wrong. Both of those places, lovely. And both of those places, Pam at Frank's and Rosa at
Amazing women.
At Cafe, they both know, or Cafe Laverna's, they know my order, which is chicken fried steak, normally home fries, biscuits, gravy on the side, over easy egg, side of green chili. And that's my all-time favorite breakfast. Now, what I like to eat on a normal day, eggs in a basket, toast.
Eggs in a basket?
Yeah, eggs in a basket.
Like in a wicker basket?
No, you take a piece of toast, right? Punch a hole in it with a glass, put it on the stove, and then drop the egg in there, right? Over easy inside the toast. Sprinkle it with, currently my favorite would be the Old Dubliner cheese. Maybe that's not what it's called because that's the name of a bar that used to be here in town. Anyways, there's this great cheese from Costco that I've been really getting into by the block. Sprinkle it on top. That's another one of my favorites. And then recently, savory French toast. Now that's something we'll get into when we talk to Marco, so I don't want to get into it too much. Okay. But yeah, I'm all about the classic American breakfast. That being said, there are so many other favorite breakfast options out there. There's, classic Japanese breakfast. I've had the Turkish breakfast, which is one of my all-time favorites.
I think my favorite breakfast recently has been crepes.
Crepes? Have you actually been making some crepes? Don't those have egg in them?
So I don't eat crepes because it's a lot of work if it's just me. But if Cecile's around and she's like, "Want to make some crepes?"
Well, how does she say it?
I'll get out of bed a little early. How does she say crepes?
Well, how does she say, "Do you want to have crepes?" Because she doesn't.
Do you want to have some crepes for breakfast?
That's just creepy.
No,
I don't think Cecile talks like that.
Nah, she's a French woman with a British accent.
Okay. We'll have Cecile on the podcast too.
Yeah, she'd love to talk to you all about crepes and stuff.
Oh, jeez. That might be a bit much.
I think we do crepes with bananas, and that's the substitute for like the egg and butter. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is going to be an interesting deal. All right. And then you like caffeine for breakfast? Not really, right? You're not a big caffeine guy, but you had a cup of coffee today.
Yeah, afternoon, which is kind of my morning. Yeah.
Okay.
I like to spike the adrenals too much in the morning.
Okay. I'm a morning caffeine guy, right? First thing in the morning, but I don't drink a lot of caffeine in the morning. Marco or Shelby will make a little bit of coffee, right? And I'll put like a little bit in a little glass and then put water on that.
I've seen you hitting Red Bull cans at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't say I don't have a lot of caffeine.
No, I'm saying coffee. Coffee. When I wake up in the morning, I don't have a lot of coffee.
But Red Bull's still caffeine.
Right, but when I get out and about, I will slam some Red Bull. Yeah.
Okay.
Caffeine, coffee, Red Bull, or green tea. Those are my options. Okay. And I'll admittedly say I'm trying to get away from drinking too much Red Bull or coffee and trying to stick with the green tea as of late.
That's good.
But I don't know. I have like an up and down related. It's like, sometimes I'm like a big caffeine.
Do you do it because you like to take, like, see, for me, caffeine is not really a desirable thing. I just have gotten really into coffee. I like the ritual of it. I never thought I'd be that kind of person, but I love making it
as well.
But I mean, it's just something to do, especially in the afternoon. If I'm at work and looking for a little break, it gives me an excuse to go walk to the coffee shop. It gives me an excuse to just go for a walk in the day.
To go get coffee?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's something
I just don't know how to respond right now. It's just so weird to think that you have gotten into the ritual. You're like, we'll have to have Jacob on because that man knows a coffee ritual.
That's the coffee guy, yeah.
He knows. I was actually inspired by Jacob to get more into coffee, but I haven't since because my favorite kind of coffee, diner coffee.
Oh my! You're like my dad, Folgers man here.
No, I'm a U-Band man. I'm a U-Band. Give me that brown can. That's what I'm about. That's what I started drinking coffee on. My dad has since moved on to like fancier Starbucks and Whole Foods coffee and stuff like that.
See, once I met Jacob, I don't even see, you can't even use the word Starbucks and fancy in the same sentence. Like that
is true.
He's like into the roast. He can tell you all about where they're made, how they're roasted, different ways of making them.
At some point, we might have to have some coffee experts come on
and
explain to us because Jacob's coffee was good. It was really well done. I've had a couple of like homemade espressos because I don't normally drink espresso. Where Nate at Blue Dog Bikes made me an espresso one morning, and it was delicious. Absolutely
my favorite kind. The thing is, that's the thing. Why I think I never liked coffee growing up because I only ever had American coffee. But you've ever Café Langer?
I have no idea what you're saying.
It's like when I went to France, that's actually when I kind of got into coffee because they just everything.
It's so worldly. Don't you just love it?
Always trashing me, dude.
I'm not. Saying, that's a compliment.
They do it good, man. They do it like it's not just this like watered down thing. They make you an espresso and they like put shit in it, and it's good.
Yeah,
it's just different. It's just a higher quality. I don't know. It's not. My dad's a pot of coffee kind of a day guy.
Well, no, we've definitely had your dad come and stay with us, and he'll be making a cup of coffee at like 5 a.m. or he'll be driving to Dunkin' Donuts at 6 when they open to get coffee.
Did that today, yeah.
Or he will be making a pot of coffee at like 8:30 before we're going to bed.
Yeah, my whole life.
And offering us coffee.
He sips on coffee as he's falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's another guy we should probably have on the podcast. That'd be pretty interesting to talk to.
He's not the most elaborate guy. He's sort of a take you blast from the past kind of a
yeah, well, maybe we'll have a throwback episode with your dad and talk about
1940s coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see how 1940s you can get.
Before they had bananas and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when we were out at your dad's house, he made us like homemade eggs, scrambled eggs, hash browns, sausages, all around pretty tasty breakfast.
Breakfast potatoes, man.
And that's then where coffee. Yeah. Breakfast potatoes. That's a whole nother category of deliciousness.
Yeah. Vegan friendly.
I mean, but breakfast potatoes, it's not just about the potatoes. It's about how the egg interacts with the potatoes. Like you have a sunny side up egg, boom, perfect, sitting on top, some eggs. Like if I get a plate of hash browns, right, and some sunny side up eggs, guess where those eggs go? They go from the egg plate on top of the hash browns. Then you cut them open, yolk gets all up into the hash browns, right? And then you have your pick. You can have a bite with some ketchup. You can have a bite with some Cholula, tapatio. You can have a bite with some gravy. Maybe throw a little sausage, maybe some fried chicken fried steak on there, and you get like this combo in your mouth. And that's how it's supposed to be done, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what we should do is have your dad come on and talk about the New Mexico battle between red chilies and green chilies.
Oh, and the huevos rancheros.
Sure.
That would be pretty awesome. Sure.
I offered to have my roommate Cameron come on and talk about some stuff, but he says he really the only thing he ever eats for breakfast is what he calls the missionary of breakfast, oatmeal.
Okay, missionary in terms of like the sex position of breakfast.
Yeah, like in his words, everybody's had it. It's a good go-to. It's safe. But like
we'll let him elaborate on it a little bit further. Let's not give up his whole episode. I mean, how are we going to spend 30 minutes talking about it if you've already explained
that man can gab. There's no way that we're going to overfill his time. But yeah.
Okay.
That's good. We'll cover caffeine bases, cultural breakfasts.
Yeah, cultural breakfast stuff. All right. Well, for breakfast today, which I think is going to be kind of something we should start the segments off with. Today for breakfast, I had bean dillas with egg, actually. Because I didn't eat breakfast till 10:30 today. After I got up pretty early, but then I didn't eat breakfast till I got done with a bunch of chores.
So it's tortillas, beans,
cheese, right? And then there's 3 ways you can put eggs on this when you got a bean dilla. So you got the quesadilla, right? And you can either scramble the eggs, drizzle it inside on top of the beans and cheese throughout, right? And cook it inside. You can scramble it separately, or you can over easy sunny side up it separately and set it on top. What I went for today was the drizzle. So just scramble up like 1 or 2 eggs inside, and then I put the tortilla open face on the grill or the stovetop, drizzle the egg on top of it, and then boom, quesadilla with beans and egg. Good. Breakfast, little salsa. That's what I had today. Yeah. What about you?
Breakfast for me is it's been pretty boring these days, but
did you eat anything since your watermelon? Because we covered that, but I feel like that's more of like a hydration.
Yeah, it's more like a
like water.
I guess I do I usually do like a 3-phase breakfast.
Okay.
It's like a 3-course, but those courses are spread out
very
by a bit
European.
of time.
Very European.
You have no idea.
You spent 2 weeks in Europe. That's it. You come back with all this European.
Yeah, but I live with a European woman.
That's fair.
So like, I don't know. She's
changing you.
Forces me. I mean, she does a lot of cooking, so I just eat whatever she eats. You know what I mean? She's like, we're having this for dinner. I'll be like, all right.
She's been gone for about a couple of weeks. So what'd you have for breakfast? 3-phase.
I resort to my standard diet, which is I can be boring. I know what I like. I'm a man that knows what I like, and I don't deviate much into my own, situation. So for me, watermelon. Wait a little while, let that settle a little bit. Usually, you can go through that first morning bowel movement.
Okay, we've already been through.
Yes, yeah. So but then we go on to pushing me, bro. Tomato sandwiches.
Tomato sandwich. But this isn't like traditionally a breakfast food.
Yeah.
Although Marco might have something else to say about it.
So you toast the bread.
Right.
Okay. So that's toast.
Right.
That's breakfast food.
Right.
And then you throw maybe a little bit of like, mayonnaise or something like that. And then tomato.
Wait, you use mayonnaise, but that's not vegan.
Veganese.
What is veganese made with?
It's like soy based.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a tofu.
You're probably like up to here.
With what? Soy?
Estrogen.
Dude.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I love having a little estrogen in my system. I love soy, and I'm not a vegan.
None of my girlfriend doesn't live here right now. I need a little bit of extra
boost.
Keep me based.
Okay,
keep the.
All right, so you got your vegan mayonnaise, mustard.
Yeah, mustard, of course. And that's pretty much it. Maybe a little lettuce or kale or something like that, and spinach maybe. And that's like it's a light. I like it because it's light. You can have that, and you can be ready to go. I'm not going to eat a tomato sandwich and feel lethargic before I go to work. You can have that and be ready to crank it out. And then if you're still feeling hungry or half hour later, you need a little extra applesauce.
That's what you.
That's like my 3-course. Yeah, it's my 3-course breakfast.
Wow.
That's the most exciting. But I'm here to learn. I'm here to
Well, that's good. That's good attitude. So you're going into this podcast in terms of just embracing more breakfast options.
Because I lack a sense of adventure. You know what I mean? In me sometimes when it comes to food. Like I go to the grocery store and I just say that, and that, because that's what I've always gotten. But I want to like learn how to walk into a store or a diner and look through the whole menu and not just go to the thing that I'm used to picking out. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Because this is the thing is we go mountain biking. We're both semi-avid cyclists and mountain bikers and stuff. And we get out there, and I don't normally like to eat before I ride. If I eat something, it's hard, you know.
Throws up usually if he does.
Yeah. So what I like to eat is something like one of those honey stinger waffles. You know, one of those is a good way to just have a little something in the tank. By the way, we're open to sponsorships. Putting it out there. So when I'm out riding, by the time that I'm done with the morning ride, I'm thinking about food. I'm thinking about breakfast. All morning long, I'm thinking about that breakfast burrito. I'm thinking about what I got at home, what I could make. So I'm a very adventurous person when it comes to breakfast. I'm in my mind just scheming the whole way home, whole end of the ride, what I'm going to make for breakfast. Normally it'd be like, where am I going for breakfast? What am I getting? What do I have at home that needs eaten? And how can I turn that into a fantastic breakfast? So we'll be exploring some of those when we get into some of our later interviews. But that's where the whole drizzle the egg, that's a mountain bike ride right there. I was like, I could just drizzle the egg on top of the beans and the cheese and have it cook inside the tortilla.
I've never meditated on something like that.
Like, that's just what I was thinking about towards the end of a mountain bike ride. And when I came home, I did it. Tasty. A little extra protein. No mess. No egg pan. It's all one pan. And because it's inside the tortilla, right?
Yeah.
It's not you don't have to.
I like that.
You're not cleaning an egg pan. You're cleaning one pan, and it's a quesadilla pan.
I like that.
Which means you don't even have to use soap. You know what I mean?
Like a cast iron skillet?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Non-stick. I'm not saying cast iron bad. I'm just saying most of the time I use a non-stick.
So you
just rinse it off, put it back on the stove.
Yeah.
After a quesadilla, like.
No big deal. Teflon? Teflon?
No, it's a ceramic coated one.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Yeah, we have some Teflons, and I'm not a fan of Teflon. So
me either.
This is a whole nother segment we could get into is breakfast appliances. I didn't even think about that. But to be honest, right now, just yesterday, Shelby and I have been talking about acquiring a toaster oven. We've been talking about this purchase for the last couple months, and I grew up with a toaster oven. None of this 2 pieces of toast on its side. That is I never had that growing up. I did not see that in a house being used on a regular basis till I was in college. I always thought that one of those toasters was like one of those old-timey appliances that we don't use anymore.
Toaster oven's like the oldest thing, and
I thought a conventional toaster was just outdated.
We're definitely gonna have this debate because it's gonna be real hard for you to win me over on toaster ovens. Not a fan.
Oven. Oh my goodness! So we're gonna get killed on this. Should we go now?
Dude, I could rock you right now.
All right.
Toaster oven.
All right. Here we go. Today's debate on this first introductory episode of the Breakfast Podcast: toaster oven versus conventional toaster. I, Shota, am for the toaster oven. I grew up with one, and they are fantastic.
I'm not inherently pro toaster. I never grew up with a toaster oven. I grew up with a toaster. But I'm anti-toaster oven.
You're anti-toaster oven?
I'm anti-toaster oven. Here, let me tell you why.
Okay.
For me in a kitchen, I've never had this big house. Okay, I'm mostly renting properties. I have limited kitchens. I'm living with other people. So the number one thing for me is kitchen space. And immediate negative for toaster ovens is they're at least 2-3 times the size of a conventional toaster. So you're losing a lot of kitchen space. Now, when you live with a lot of people, that's precious space. Number 2, well, I guess you want to refute that?
Well, I guess, yeah, let's go point by point.
Okay. Size.
Yeah, you were correct.
Okay.
The conventional toaster takes up less space than a toaster oven.
Okay. Number 2, takes a lot more energy to heat up the entire space that your toast is in rather than just heating this like limited space that you put in it. Like a toaster, you just stick a couple slices and it just heats it right directly. Whereas a toaster oven, you have to heat up this entire space that the toast is in this giant box.
Okay.
That seems like a level of inefficiency that I'm not really about.
Right. I'm going to say to that, negligible. The amount of extra energy that you'll be using to heat, let's say on average, is an extra 2 to 3 inches on either side of the toast, right? So a total combined volume of probably 5 to 6 times more. That's sure the numbers, that's a lot more square inches or cubic inches. But overall, total cubic inches is so small, and the amount of power you're using is so small that energy usage or that inconvenience or inefficiency is a minor issue, especially when we get into the pros.
I guess I could say I guess if that's minor, then like why not just use your oven?
Exactly. Well, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Right?
Because I'm never going to heat up a slice of toast in my oven.
So that is why we love the toaster oven. Okay. First of all, it toasts wonderfully, right? And you can do more than 2 slices of toast at a time, which means, sure, it's twice as big, but you can keep that bad boy running all morning long and toast enough bread for 2 families. And no one's going to have cold toast. No one's going to be waiting around for toast.
2 families?
You can put 8 pieces of toast in a nice toaster oven.
How many pieces of toast are you eating at a time?
Okay, Marco himself, right, every morning eats 4 pieces of toast.
Holy.
If I were to eat toast in the morning, I would be eating 4 pieces of toast. Now, if Marco and I both wanted to eat 4 pieces of toast at the same time, right, we'd be lining up waiting as each of us do 2 pieces of toast at a time in the toaster oven. And that's only 2 of us out of our 5-person household. You know? Right? And so say you have a family of 5, 2 to 3 people are having breakfast at the same time and they want to have toast. Toaster oven allows you to toast whatever you want, however many pieces you want, to about 6 to 8 piece maximum. Another great thing about the toaster oven is the capacity. Because you have that extra room on either side, right, and space width-wide, you could have a fat sourdough. You can still get the whole piece of toast in the toaster oven and totally toast it on all sides without having to pull it out, put it back in, and have an issue, right? You could also put bagels in there without burning your bagel toppings off in the toaster because the heat element is farther away from the toast.
Okay.
Right? You can do stuff like, for all those folks that have kids out there, I've seen on the TV, because I've never tried this, so I don't know how it works, but you could put a Pop-Tart or like one of those breakfast croissant-y things where you put the icing on top. You put that in there, you're not going to get the drizzle all down, upside down inside your toaster because the toast is sitting upright. Okay, and that brings me to my next point. You can do grilled cheese in a toaster oven. You can put whatever topping you'd like on the toast and toast it.
What kind of temperatures are you achieving in a toaster oven? They're not going to get as hot as your real oven, right?
Oh, well, no. You can get a toaster oven up to like 400 degrees.
Seriously?
And that being said, toaster oven gets up to 400 degrees a lot faster with a lot less energy without heating up your whole house. So if you're here in Arizona and you want to have like, maybe frozen hash browns, frozen mini pizzas, toaster oven is king. You just set that bad boy to 400 or broil, or even just leave it at the high toast setting, put it in there, press the lever, boom, zap. Anything with toppings, you can toast, right? You can make mini pizzas on a bagel in a toaster oven, right? You can take your fried chicken that you had for dinner the other night and you had some leftover. You put that in the toaster oven opposed to the microwave, that chicken is going to be crispy. It is not going to be soggy like it is when it comes out of the microwave, right? So toaster oven is just all around way more utilitarian than just a toaster. So yes, it can take up 2 to 3 times more counter space. Yes, it uses a tad bit more energy, but you can do so much more with what you got. It's a whole new world, man.
I'm thinking it would make sense to keep your toaster oven in your oven.
Like you could do that, yeah, just as long as you don't accidentally turn the oven on.
So that's the other side is I've burnt myself tons of times in toaster ovens because I didn't know that they get like
a lot of toaster ovens catch on fire.
I've melted a lot of shit to a toaster oven.
Like back in the day, growing up, if the toaster caught on fire, you just throw it in the pool. You just pull it out of the wall and just toss it in the pool, and then you let it dry out, and then clean it out and put it back in. But normally that happens when you let cheese or something drizzle onto the heating element, and then it catches on fire.
That sounds dangerous, man.
It can be. So I'm not saying that toaster oven is safe or healthy, but it is better.
It's a win for you, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Like, imagine what's something that you eat regularly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I toast a lot of bread. I mean, that makes sense for me. I think it would be cool to do.
Right,
Yeah,
like you could slice a baguette and have an open-faced baguette in the toaster, right? All sides toasted, right? And then you put your precious little tomato and your soy mayonnaise in there, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like freaking Quiznos.
That'd be a cool, fresally veggie burgers. It'd be for kids,
frozen veggie
just
burgers.
Toast them rather than
any kind of frozen patty. Boom, you just slide them in there.
I bet that'd be good.
Turn it on. Yeah.
That'd be okay. I mean, because we used to have one, we got rid of it.
Yeah. So here we go, folks. Let's see what you all think of our debate regarding the toaster oven versus the conventional toaster. You can leave your comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, as well as anything I'm missing.
I think that's it. Yeah, we'll see who wins this debate, toaster oven or no toaster
We're
oven.
looking forward to hearing from you guys on who wins the toaster oven, conventional toaster debate. Anything else, Tim?
I think that's it. I guess time scale. Are we going to try to do one a week? Get people.
Yeah. Generally speaking, we're going to be recording 5 episodes and then launching them all at once. And then after that, we'll be trying to get one out once a week. We're going to do a 30-minute-ish podcast. And this, again, ladies and gentlemen, is The Breakfast Club. Wait, that's not it.
Buenos dias.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Good morning.
This is The Breakfast Podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody. Well, good on you, Titty. We got it done.